Hi there and welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Have you had an opportunity to like the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. Have you heard the term imposter syndrome? That is where you don't believe in your own abilities and capabilities and your accomplishments. And whenever you try something new, your mind tells you that you're a fraud, that you have no right to do that job or that role. This happens a lot when people feel they aren't entitled to their accomplishments or their achievements. You notice this a lot in the corporate world, where people are given promotions because they've shown they've done a lot for that company. They've grown and developed and acquired skills that perhaps to lead to a managerial role. They can work in a different department, whatever the promotion may be. But that individual may not feel like they're ready yet or that they deserve that promotion. So they go through the day thinking, oh my gosh, people are going to realize I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Oh, they're going to figure out I'm a fraud. But if you have that negative imposter thinking that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, and that you're not qualified enough to do a position, you're likely going to fail because of that fear of this being found out as an imposter. The reality is you're the only one thinking that. And this is very common, not just at work life, but also in kids. They feel perhaps they've won an award or achieved something at school, and the teacher calls upon them because they did really well in their book report. Oh, we'd like Johnny to share what he talked about in his book report. Johnny's sitting there, why is the teacher picking on me? I don't know what I'm talking about. Perhaps it was because they didn't feel it was their best work, but they have that little voice in their mind says you're a fraud, you're not good enough, you shouldn't be getting acknowledged. There's easy ways to put this to rest, and that is to start to believe in ourselves and understand our capabilities and our abilities, and when we do achieve these achievements, know that we deserve them. But how do we do that? How do we teach ourselves to do it? We have to have positive self-talk. We have to do, whenever that little negative voice comes to our mind, we have to acknowledge what it's saying, tell it's lies, and just change up the thinking. So you're in the corporate world, you get an advancement and a promotion to a managerial role, and somebody comes and says, congratulations, I hear you got a promotion, that's fantastic. You must have really worked hard for it. Acknowledge, say, yes, I did, and thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity. If you look at it as a new challenge and understand that everybody who gets their new promotion and has a new job has a learning curve to go through it, you may not be as hard on yourself, keep calling yourself a fraud. Be like, you know what, it's okay, I'll get it. If I don't get it, I'll research and I'll learn how to do it. I'll go to a training. I'll tell yourself of these things to make yourself feel better. But in the meantime, you're doing it because it's your job, you're learning on the spot, and you are growing. So that imposter syndrome slowly starts to disappear. But if you don't acknowledge the fact that you have this imposter syndrome, it never goes away. So think about the areas in your life that you feel like a fraud. It could be that you've been told you're the best mother or father, and you don't feel that because you spend too much time at work, or you're not doing arts and crafts with the kids all the time. Whatever in your mind makes you think that you're not worthy of the accolades. Maybe it's at school, maybe it's at work. Maybe it's in a professional development situation. So with Toastmasters, people always congratulate one another on their accomplishments, and they're achieving different levels. But some Toastmasters still feel that they're being a fraud. They're being acknowledged because they've accomplished all these things, but they're still so nervous when they get up to speak, they don't feel they deserve the accolades. The reality is we're human beings. We have fear. We have insecurities. But nobody's a fraud. Nobody, unless you feel you're a fraud because you've stolen all those qualifications, which you haven't. I can honestly say if somebody has applied for a job with a completely fake resume claiming they have all these qualifications and they don't, then that's a fraud. But for us as individuals that work hard, have accomplishments, and have accolades that we can be proud of, we need to do that. We don't need to flaunt them over the top to the point where we look cocky and, that we're being disrespectful to people who aren't. But we also just need to acknowledge that we're proud of ourselves. We've done well. Now, some people don't suffer from imposter syndrome. They never feel like a fraud. They think they're great and they know everything and they're all that, and that's okay. That's good in some sense, as long as you act in a way that isn't coming across as cocky or I'm better than you. So the fine line between imposter syndrome and feeling good about what you've done, and then also the fine line between feeling good about what you've done and being cocky about it. Imposter syndrome has been coming up more and more often in the world in the last few years because a lot of people are starting to grow and develop and notice things they never thought they could be able to achieve before. I've heard this phrase a lot with a lot of people in my world. Perhaps it's because they change careers where they're going in a different direction, but their skills are transferable from one to the other, but they don't have the solid knowledge about the field they're going into. So they doubt themselves. I challenge you, if you have imposter syndrome, or even if you doubt your own abilities for a little bit, look at yourself. Look at all your accomplishments. Be proud. Write them down. Look at them and own them. You deserve everything you work hard for. And if your voice that little voice in your mind tells you that you're a fraud, tell it to jump in the lake. Tell them, no, I'm not. I've got this. I'm good. And that'll help. Because if we continue to think we're imposters, we'll be them. And that's no way to live. So until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!